The second set of the day will be played on Bel'Shir Vestige. Spawning up in the top left-hand position, the red Zerg from Samsung Khan. It is Shine, and he wants to take his revenge for Roro.
His opponent taking out the Super Ace from Samsung Khan, and now going for the second kill of the day. His name is Bisu, spawning as Blue Protoss on the right bottom position of the map.
Alright, so we need to talk just a tiny bit about the implications from last game, and then we need to talk about what could happen this game due to those implications. In the first game, Bisu went for a very greedy build, but at the same time he did some pressure early on to throw his opponent off guard. That allowed him to secure that third, and then he went into that Sky Toss composition. On this map, it's a little bit harder to take that third and hold it with Sky Toss.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I guess the point I'm getting to is, will we see him try to go for that? Or will he go for something else? And then, of course, will Shine cheese or not?
Well, I think that was the number one question for everyone out there, is Shine going to cheese or not? But to talk about Sky Toss on this map a little more, this was the original map where all the Pro League Protoss players started going Sky Toss. For example, Stork, the first PBZ that they played this season, he went for Sky Toss. Some other players decided to go for it, so you know, it's a little bit harder to secure a third base on this map, but it's certainly possible, and we've seen it happen before, we've seen it work.
That's true. Also, a little subtle difference between the first and second game here. Bisu scouting his opponent with his first probe after building the pylon.
Whoop.
I'm pretty sure that's because he wanted to make sure his opponent wasn't going for an early pull.
Two things. One, early pull like you said, but two, this is a two-player map. Yeah. So it's easier to cheese and easier to scout your opponent right away. If you did that on Whirlwind, you're just wasting your few minerals by scouting around earlier in the game.
It's true. So both players have gone ahead and taken their expansions early on into this game here. Nice picture, or I guess video, of Shine. He's looking a lot more composed and focused than before the game started. He seemed a little bit nervous.
Yeah, well,
I'd be nervous after seeing that last game from Bisu.
January's like, where does his confidence come from? He's not playing well, but of course he's playing against Bisu today, so maybe that's the reason why.
Shine traditionally has done well against Bisu, despite what people would expect.
He is 5-5 against Bisu when it comes to StarCraft 1. They haven't played each other in StarCraft 2, but Shine does have a nice record against Bisu, especially as a Zerg player.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, well, it looks like Bisu just going over to this third base. Shine should take his third base pretty soon here. Actually, you know what I've noticed from Shine? He's been playing a lot more macro-orientated styles against Protoss players in StarCraft 2. We have seen him go for some mass muta styles, which have worked very well for him. So I'm curious to see, will we see that mass muta style from him? Maybe we'll see some type of swarm host play, something really cool and unique as well. You know, he's the kind of player that could definitely pull something like that off.
Well, so far it's looking really normal by Shine right now, taking a third base and just droning up heavily behind it. I want to talk a little bit more about Bisu last game, because he's been always saying that he lost in Wings of Liberty because of those early pressures and cheeses, and he didn't know how to defend against them. Now with the additional Mothership Core, this was back during the specials, by the way. With the additional Mothership Core, he feels like, well, I could play this game again now. I could defend against those the early pressure with the Mothership Cannon, and I could go into mid to late game where I actually excel at.
Yeah, exactly. You can really use his multitasking to the greatest of his ability, which is what Bisu was really known for, that and revolutionizing the PvZ matchup in Brood War. So for those of you who aren't too familiar with Bisu, he changed so much in Brood War. There's a reason why he's so popular.
Well, there's a reason why the 3.3 revolution happened. Exactly.
Looks like we have normal gas timings from Shine, taking them both around 44 supply. Stargate opening from Bisu here. Not entirely surprised by that. And he is chronoing out a Stalker here, so it looks like he may want to put on a little bit of pressure on his opponent. Already sending a Zealot over to that third base. This Queen's going to have to do a little merry-go-round around that hatchery. We already have 4 Lings on the way from Shine as well, but he doesn't know about this second Stalker that's going to go pressure that third. And I love that Bisu's pressuring over here. This is going to be the second Stalker moving across the map here that will be able to join the first one. A little bit different timing, but I like it.
This is only forcing the Zerglings out from his opponent to make sure he doesn't drone up too heavily early in the game, and also snipe the Queen if possible. But all he's trying to do right now is like just poke, force the Zerglings out and make sure that he doesn't drone up.
Yeah, look at that, 10 Zerglings in production here. Think about all the, actually, wow, a lot of damage being done here from Bisu, and more drones coming in here. They could potentially get taken out if, Bisu's going to have to get out of there now. One Stalker getting trapped there, but he did force a lot of Zerglings out, which could have been drones earlier on, so he at least is delaying his opponent some economy. I'd have to say that maybe that was a little bit more worth it for Bisu than Shine, but still, overall, it's not a terrible position for Shine.
It could have been 100% worth it for Bisu if he actually took out the Queen, but it just didn't happen. Behind this, he's getting 3 additional gateways. On standard follow-up, I have to say, after getting 1 Stargate, Bisu is playing this slightly different than Game 1, so I guess he completely prepared how to play on set number 1 on Whirlwind, and now he's just playing a regular standard Protoss game.
Look at this, though. We have an additional macro hatchery from Shine in his main base here. He's up to about 55 drones right now, and I think that we could see him potentially go into some type of very heavy mid-game pressure. That's something I would not be surprised to see from him. We have the 1-1 on the way from him as well. +1 melee, +1 carapace. Bisu has up to 4 Phoenix now. He's moving around the map, going to try to scout his opponent and see what he's up to and do economic damage where he can.
Well, do remember that his drone count is slightly low in this part of the game because he was forced to make up to, what, 20 Zerglings early in the game?
Yeah.
That's 10 drones that he could have made.
He is starting to make more Zerglings at this point, though.
He wants to deny the third base.
Definitely, Bisu has to be careful. Doesn't want to lose those sentries there. He's going to attempt to take his third base now, grabbing that +1. I have a feeling we could definitely see some type of Spire follow-up from Shine here. That's generally what happens when you see so many Zerglings out on the map earlier on.
Well, Bisu does scout the number of Zerglings that his opponent has. A little bit abnormal at this point. We have 25 Zerglings out on the field, 22 more out on the way. Bisu needs to start warping in additional units right now. Oh, this is going to be the +1/+1 Zergling timing attack where the Zerg player just goes for a massive amount of Zerglings and then just go for a really fast hive. We've seen this happen a couple of times, especially live, I have to say, from all of these Zerg players, and these Zerglings, they do not know how to die.
That's true. There's already up to 59 Zerglings here and more Queens in production, which just does point to that late game composition, the Zerglings, Ultras, and the Queens here. Now the Zerglings moving in here, but Bisu, he's got a good amount of cannons. He has the Zealots. He's fine. He's not going to take any damage here, and only slightly behind his opponent supply-wise. There is that Infestation Pit like you were talking about. We should see the 2-2 start momentarily here. A lot of gas is starting to get banked up, and we're seeing the 5th and 6th gas get taken from Shine as well, but he's going to lose one of his Queens over here. Bisu getting a bit of a win here. He doesn't want to lose any of those Phoenix, though. Loses one, unfortunately, and now the Zerglings moving in here, but nice force fields going down from Bisu. The Zerglings can't do anything. They are forced back.
The only problem for Bisu is that he needs to catch up in the upgrades. He needs to start the +2 right away. And also, he needs to get a second Robo out, because once the Hive goes up by Shine, there's going to be like, what, 6-7 Ultras out? You need the double Immortal composition to defend against this. Now, the great news for Bisu is that he hasn't lost any sentries back at the third base, which means that he's going to have more force fields to defend against the Zerglings.
That's true, and with that Colossus at home, these Zerglings are... They can walk around, they can be annoying, but Bisu, he's perfectly fine turtling on 3 bases for the next 5 to 10 minutes of the game here. He doesn't necessarily need to take that fourth. He scouts the hive timing, so that's going to point him into the direction of, okay, my opponent, he has a lot of Zerglings here. He's getting a fast hive. He has those double upgrades. I think he's going for Ultras behind this. That is the logical choice to go from what Bisu sees.
Well, initially, Shine is going to go for the Infestors right now. Seems like he wants to use some Fungals to make sure he could take out the Sentries and some of the Colossus.
Yeah, actually, getting the Infestors an important part of this build, because you're going to be a little bit vulnerable in this pre-hive timing before you have those Ultras. You need something to help buffer against your opponent, and those Infestors really do help.
Well, Bisu exactly knows what's happening now. He's going for the second Forge. He's getting the Immortals out. The only problem is I still don't see a second Robo from our Protoss player.
That's a lot of Zerglings here. They're trying to get a nice round here, but a recall from Bisu here. Can he get the proper force fields off to kill off these Zerglings?
Yes.
2 solid force fields go down. He is able to trap some of them, kills a good amount of them, saves the third base. That is the important part of this. Without that recall, that Nexus would have been dead. Now the Ultra Den is on the way here. We have the Adrenal Gland upgrade for those Zerglings. That's going to allow them to attack much faster here. But Bisu trying to get aggressive here. He is actually very far ahead in supply right now. There are really only 55 Zerglings and 3 Infestors to Shine's name here. Bisu taking a 4th behind this, but he still hasn't quite yet spotted those Ultras here.
Oh yeah, definitely, but
Nice
he does
force
have the
fields.
idea because he's making constant Immortals behind this. The Phoenixes are still alive and well, doing a lot of damage against these drones. Look at those, 4 Phoenixes still alive and well, killing drones constantly. You don't see that from a regular Protoss player. Only players who has amazing multitasking ability can do so.
That's right. Unfortunately, Bisu's multitasking not going to be able to save his Phoenix here. They do go down, but the Infestors at least are revealed here. Now, I want to point out that these Overlords, they have drop in speed. There's nothing in those Overlords, though, so he's trying to fake out his opponent here. But at the same time, Bisu wants to do some drop harassment of his own. Keep in mind, there is no defense at the home base for Shine against this Warp Prism, but now there's going to be some Zerglings. It's not a fake. They're going to move in. Bisu has to defend this potential 4th base over here while defending his main. There's not going to be too many Zerglings here, though. Bisu should be able to warp in and be fine against this. Look at that, already starting to warp in units. So the Zerglings should die pretty fast here.
But do remember, those are well-upgraded Zerglings, so they do not die fast. That actually forces Bisu to recall into the area, and now he's going to lose the 3rd base.
Yeah,
yes, he is going to lose the 3rd base. But however, he does have the 4th base up, and he is harassing inside the main base.
As long as he sends a lot of Zealots into that main base, you can get in good position. The Queen dies. The Zerglings, though, they're so heavily upgraded right now that Bisu's Zealots aren't able to do a huge amount of damage here. A bit of a blunder by him. He lost a lot of those Zealots for free there. And the Ultra's moving in. Shine doing a lot of damage now, starting to turn this game around. Bisu, can he get his units over there to save that 4th Nexus in time? That is so crucial to save. Yes, he will be able to save it, pushing those Ultras back. They are getting low on health. One of them does go down to survive. We have Storm and 3 Archons on the way now from Bisu while he's getting that +3 attack, the armor, while continuing this Immortal production and remaking the 3rd.
Bisu just needs to make sure he doesn't die to the Zergling drops once again, because if he's forced to recall, then Shine's going to buy enough time to drone up on 5 bases. So Bisu needs to decide, is he going to ditch the base and go for the counterattack or come home and defend? I don't think he has a recall.
17 mutas in production. Bisu has to attack now. He has to make something happen. The Archons, the Storm, that should help out here. Look at this. Bisu, he has cannons in his main base. The Nexus cannon going down. The Cracklings, though, they can do a lot of DPS, but Shine not paying attention. He's going to lose all of his Infestors, only getting 1 fungal down. And now Shine forced on the defense. The +3 attack upgrade finishing for both players around the same time. This 3rd, though, it may get taken down unless Bisu can warp in some reinforcements there. He does not have a lot of resources, but he does have a good amount of gas stockpiled here. He has the Warp Prism with his main army going into that main base. Shine, he has the mutas. Is he going to try to force that base race? That is what he must do at this point.
And Bisu also needs to start warping in Archons at the 4th base right now before all the gateways get taken out. He needs to trade away some of his army, but he is supply blocked at this point.
That's true. Bisu, though, attacking all locations at once here. He knows where his opponent's expansions are, except for the one below the main. This is turning into a complete base race here, but the problem for Shine is he is way down in supply. Bisu, though, running out of buildings here. I see a lot of buildup at that natural there. Will he try to cannon that up and really make it secure? Shine losing all of his tech structures here. As long as Bisu can go to the main, back to his main base, or natural, and hold that secure. Cannons, an Archon, Mothership Core. He's looking like he can potentially save that.
Here's the thing. Now Shine has better mobility, and Bisu's pretty much forced down to 1 base, but Shine cannot attack into Bisu's main army because he doesn't have a better unit composition than Bisu. So now Shine's trying to force the Bisu's units out of position, while Bisu, he needs to fortify the 3rd base again and try to secure the base again while trying to get the gateways up and trying to get as many pylons up to make sure that he can make additional army from this point.
Both players right now, they're actually really unable to make a lot of units right now, so their resources are starting to stockpile. Bisu is supply blocked currently. Shine, he's got a lot of resources, but no tech buildings to help him make anything. The Muta's now moving towards that natural. Bisu, where is he going to go here?
Bisu needs to come back.
He needs to go back to that main base. He does not have that Mothership core with him to help recall. The Archon there going to get snapped up, unfortunately, and the Immortal going to die too. That's a big mistake by Bisu. He cannot afford to lose any units at this point. Remaking gateways in his main base, the Vestige can, but Bisu instead going to just go ahead and take out this extra expansion over here. But now he's going to move home, but he has to have Storm to deal with those Mutas.
Well, the Storm is finished, and he's just warping in extra Archons and Templars. That's going to be well fortified at the natural, as long as it's Mutas only. And this is going to be good for Bisu, because now the Ultras are out in the field. There's only Mutas harassing inside the main base, but Mutas cannot attack into this base right now, this natural base of Bisu.
That's true. I would like to see a few more High Templar in that mix.
It's
Bisu,
a different story if the Zerglings and the Ultras are attacking at the same time.
That's true. This could be a bad move for Bisu. He needs to go home. He has to defend right now. Bisu losing a lot of units at his natural. Those Archons would be so much more useful if they have the rest of his army at home. Bisu, he has to come home. He needs to defend here. The Colossus moving in now. They're going to be able to take out those Zerglings. The Ultras
Nexus
will die, but the Nexus, will it go down? There's only a handful of probes left for Bisu. If he loses the Nexus, he will not be able to remake anything this game. He can rebuild that Nexus, but he only has a few probes left. He has to keep a Nexus alive. Bisu, what is he going to do? Is he just going to go for the big attack here and try to win the game outright?
I'm not too sure that's the great decision, because the Mutas is still alive and well out in the field. It's better for Bisu to just leave some Archons back at home and then build a Nexus right away, but it seems like he wants to go for the base race.
Bisu, he's going to go for the base race right now, but the problem is Shine has a lot of defensive structures at home. And the Mutas count, it's up to 20 right now. Mutas win in base races, man. That's the biggest issue for Bisu right now. He knows about the space here. He's going to start assaulting it, but time is not on his side here. He needed to go home and defend. He needed the Storms to scare away the Mutas, but he didn't have that, and now things aren't looking as good for him as they were about 5 minutes ago.
It's better for Bisu to just rebuild the Nexus at the natural of his opponent Shines right now, because if not, then he's going to get eliminated.
True, he has
the probes out, he has the minerals.
He can actually make 2 Nexuses right now.
Yeah, and all he has to do is fortify that base and then just make sure, you know, we go back like 10 minutes back into the game, because now he's losing all these structures back at the main base. He needs a building right now.
Where is Bisu's buildings right now? He's only down to a few. He's killed off the spines he needs. He's building a pylon over here. He's assaulting the third at the same time as the natural, but he still doesn't know about that expansion below that 4th base of Shine here. 8 Mutas out on the way, and this is becoming very close between both players here. Bisu has to build multiple buildings. He can't afford to lose any of them right now. This is going to be a nail-biter here. It could still go either way. Shine, though, making an expansion on the bottom left-hand side of the base. Very smart here, but he is running out of buildings as well. Both players, it's going to come down to who has the last structure.
Yes, and Shine does have the mobility right now with the Mutas, but he doesn't have that many buildings out on the field. Bisu, his Nexus is out of position. That's a lot of pylons right now, but he did rebuild a Nexus over there.
That's true.
That's like really out of position, by the way.
It's out of position. Shine, he's got up to 27 Mutas, 16 Zerglings right now.
The one hero drone being built right now, that could change the game.
It could change the game, and also the big advantage for Shine is that he has a hatchery way on the other side of the map. Imagine if Bisu had Dark Templar in this army, man. This game would be over.
What Bisu needs to do right now is just send like 1 or 2 zealots around the map, know where the hatchery is, and make sure he actually knows where the Mutas are, because if you can actually... Oh, really nice snipe by Shine, taking out 1 Archon. That's really huge for Shine right now, because now he doesn't have to face 1 more Archon, and he's in a much better position. Coach Boxer looking worried about the whole situation right now.
Probe's going down. That's actually a huge deal. There's only 1 probe left for Bisu. He needs to put that somewhere on the map where the Mutas can't see it.
And he actually canceled the Nexus.
He did cancel the Nexus here, so as long as he can keep that alive. Losing, I think he's down to 2 Archons right now and just a handful of Stalkers and that Guardian Shield. Bisu,
he needs to go back right now. The Mutas are going for the pylons right now. The Mutas are going for the win. Bisu needs to defend against this right now.
Bisu sending out his Zealots to attack that expansion over there. The Mutas They're not able to do enough damage here, and Bisu scares them off for now. The Zealots, Bisu, he's spotted that if he can bring his Zealots down there, he can potentially win this game. There's one drone left for Shine right now. Where is it on the map?
One drone doesn't matter because that can't build any buildings right now except one extractor, which is going to get scouted if the hatchery does go down. Shine does see the Zealots moving over there, but the Zealots are already there.
The Zealots are there. They're going to be able to take the hatchery before Shine. Well, actually, he's going to be able to save this hatchery right now, and Bisu, he's losing all of his drones. The Archon's moving in now, and the expansion is remade, but the problem is Bisu, where is that extractor on the map here? He kills the hatchery, the extractor in the main base. Bisu has to send his units over there. He's down to that single nexus. Will Shine try to go ahead and take that out here?
Bisu can win the game right now if he knows where the extractor is. The problem is he needs to wait extra seconds to know where the extractor is. Before that, he needs to well fortify the Nexus, because now it's the Nexus versus the Extractor!
The Nexus versus the Extractor. Who's going to end up winning here? The Mutas, they're a bit clumped up. They snipe down one Archon. Bisu needs to send his units over there to kill that Extractor. He has to send the Colossus and the Immortals over there, and has to keep the other units at home to save his Nexus.
This is how Bisu won his first PBC against Effort back in Cloud Kingdom. One extractor versus one building. The Colossus are going for it. It's out of the range from the Mutas, but Shine is also well fortified right now. This is a Mexican standoff between these two players.
Oh, he's going to send the Overlords in. Bisu, he needs to move his Colossus in as soon as the Mutas move over to that Nexus. That is what he's going to count on here. He wants to send. All right, Bisu, he's going to send over his Colossus now. He has to do that. He's sending them over right now. It's going to be a race. Who can kill off the building first? It's going to be so close. Bisu moving over now.
Bisu going for the Extractor. Remember, Extractor has less HP, but the Nexus is going down right now. Who's going to win the battle?
And the Mutas are coming back. It looks like Bisu
wins the game! Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! Holy crap! That was the closest game I have ever seen in StarCraft. Coming down to the last building. Bisu just a nail biter there, but manages to make it work. Holy crap.